And it's not easy to get a decision here in Germany. With that in mind, as Jermaine Taylor goes for the body, but now Arthur Abraham claiming low blow. We discussed it. We talked about this before, and this a major concern of the Jermaine Taylor camp. But that was a low blow.
Steve, the replay showed it all.
That was definitely a low. Jermaine Taylor camp. But that was a low blow.
Steve,
Jermaine Taylor camp. But that was a low blow.
Steve.
And again, a warning from the jab by Taylor is weakening. And now again, Abraham says low blow. And this could be a point.
Many times, many fouls. 1 point deduction. 1 point deduction. 1 point deduction. I want a clean foul, please. Okay?
Guadalupe Garcia deducting with Jermaine Taylor as the bell sounds.
And here's action from round 6. You see it's low.
8 with Jermaine Taylor as the bell sounds.
And here's action from round 6. You see it's low.
8 with Jermaine Taylor as the bell sounds.
And here's action from round 6. You see it's low. 8. And here's action from round 6. You see it's low. Abraham keeps those elbows so low that if you don't want to hit the point of his elbow, you have to punch below that point, and that's going to be a low blow, and that was a low blow. And Abraham comes back with a right hand. Maybe Abraham's best round, but that was low, and given the warning, Steve, I don't have any argument with the point deduction.
Yep. The adopted son here in Berlin, originally from Armenia. Oh, that looked like a low blow. The adopted son here in Berlin, originally from Armenia. Oh, that looked like a low blow. The adopted son here in Berlin, originally from Armenia. Oh, that looked like a low blow.
Hey there guys, how's it going? So, I wanted to take this opportunity to do a quick presentation here on officiating in boxing. Now, officiating in boxing, refereeing, judging, you know, how you score a fight, how you determine what's going on in the ring, you know, how you regulate both guys, basically. It's been a big topic for discussion lately, since we've had a lot of corruption lately, particularly in regards to Sergey Kovalev's defeat against Andre Ward, where he was defeated on a low blow, several low blows in fact, after losing a controversial decision the first time out. You know, a lot of people have been talking about, oh, well, you know, if the referee missed the low blows, it's not the other guy's fault. You know, if the other guy turned his back after getting low blowed, it's his fault for losing. You know, I've seen people saying, oh, you can't rely on the referee to determine the outcome of the fight. The fighters have to take things into their own hands. You know, a lot of shit, basically, saying that the punches weren't low, you know, they were legal, even though everybody that watched it knows that they were legal. Everybody knows that it was that he won the fight due to fouls. Okay, that's not even debatable. We all know it, whether we want to admit it or not. But that's not really what I want to talk about here. What I want to talk about here is I want to show you guys a prime example, and this Jermaine Taylor Arthur Abraham fight that I just showed some clips of was a prime example of how boxing should be officiated. So, let's talk about what happened. So, the fight starts. It was a pretty cagey fight early on. Jermaine Taylor, as early as the second round, something midway through the second round, is targeting below the waist. I mean, he's an American fighter. You know, he's used to getting away with this shit in America. He also hit Carl Froch below the waist a couple of times and was never warned for it. So, you know, he went over to Germany thinking that he could fight the way he always fights, and it's gonna be all right. He's gonna win that way because it just seems to be implemented in the minds of these American fighters that they can get away with murder. So as early as the second round, he's hitting Abraham below the waist, and you can clearly see from the replays that it was a low blow. The referee, rightfully so, breaks up the action and says, don't hit him low. He didn't grill Jermaine Taylor. He wasn't being unfair to Jermaine Taylor. He just told him, look, don't hit him low. the fourth round comes. I believe it was the fourth round anyway, and Jermaine Taylor, you know, he's starting to get frustrated that he can't hit Abraham past the guard. You know, Abraham was timing his punches very well. He was blocking the punches. Jermaine Taylor was throwing a lot of shots and wasn't really landing anything clean. So he was frustrated. So he decides to target below the belt because he can't hit him in the body because Abraham has his elbows tucked in and he's got very long arms. So Jermaine Taylor decides to target below the belt again. The referee catches him and says, "Listen, don't do that." Referee's being fair, okay? He's not taking any points off. He's not showing any favoritism, okay? This is a neutral referee. Even though it's in Abraham's backyard, the referee is neutral. He's not showing any favoritism, despite the popular narrative on the fight being that the referee was somehow unfair to Jermaine Taylor, which is complete crap. He was just doing his job. And he gives him another chance. He says, yeah, don't hit him low. Simple. You know, it didn't grow Taylor, didn't take any points off, just a stern warning, don't hit him below the belt. Then comes the sixth round. By this point, Jermaine Taylor is starting to really get frustrated because Abraham's starting to pick up the pace. Now, Abraham's one of these fighters who, you know, he starts out very slow. For the first 2 or 3 rounds, he basically does nothing. And then he starts to open up by the fourth. So at this point, Taylor's starting to really feel the pace of the fight. So midway through the sixth round, he decides to, and you can clearly see from the replay, and I showed you the replay, that it was premeditated. It wasn't an accident. He throws 2 low blows at once. A right uppercut to the groin, followed by a left uppercut to the groin. 2 low blows in the same instance, the same combination in motion. He decides to hit him twice. So that's already, it's been 6 rounds, and Jermaine Taylor has thrown 4 low blows, 4 punches that were blatantly below the belt. So what does the referee do? He breaks him up, and he says to Jermaine Taylor, that's it, takes a point off. That is how boxing is supposed to be officiated. You give a guy one chance, you warn him. If he doesn't listen, if he fouls again, you warn him again. You say, listen, do that again, and we're going to have a problem. If he fouls another time, you give him another warning, and then or you could at least take a point off at that point, just to be clear that you're not fucking about. You know, if he's going to foul, there's going to be consequences. Okay, referees need to lay down the law with these fighters, and that's exactly what that referee did. He gave Jermaine Taylor every chance to clean up his act, and he didn't. And from then on, the fight was relatively clean, although there was a low blow from Taylor in the 11th round, but I think that one might have been accidental. I think there was one in the 8th round too. I can't remember. I didn't really look at the 8th round, but from what I remember watching the fight years ago, I think there were a couple of shots below the belt later in the fight, but they didn't look intentional, and they weren't hard either. So I didn't really feel the need to put them in this presentation. But the point is, and I know I'm rambling a bit with this video, but that is how boxing should be officiated. The referee should give you 1 chance, 2 chances, and then on the 3rd or 4th time that you commit a foul, he should take a point away, because that would ensure that you have an incentive to box within the rules. And you know, even though people complain all the time that countries in Europe, particularly Germany, you know, they complain that referees are, you know, too harsh on foreign fighters. It's not true, okay? It's particularly not with this fight. I mean, the referee simply did his job. He didn't allow Jermaine Taylor to commit a blatant foul, which was low blows. So, yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. You know, us as boxing fans really need to get on the cases of these referees, and we really need to hold them accountable, okay? Tony Weeks should be held accountable for what happened in the Andre Ward fight. There is no reason whatsoever why he shouldn't have taken points off of Andre Ward when he threw blatant low blows in the fight all the way through it. And it's not just the low blows that Andre Ward commits. He also does a lot of holding, you know, excessive holding in fights, man. Elbows, headbutts. He breaks every rule in the book. I mean, Jermaine Taylor threw a lot of low blows in fights, but he didn't do anywhere near as much fouling as what Andre Ward does. So, yeah, I think that with more and more fighters thinking that it's okay and acceptable to foul in the ring, particularly American fighters, and I hate to be singling out the Americans, but it's just that it's the Americans that I keep seeing it with. You know, it's them that are following this pattern of you know, trying to exploit their way through fights, and I don't like that. Okay, something needs to be done about it. You know, these guys need to be held accountable for their actions, and so do these referees. So I don't know what we can do as fans to try and bring this to light, but I think me putting out this little presentation, just showing you guys how it should be done. Okay, that Arthur Abraham Jermaine Taylor fight, go and watch that fight. Watch that whole fight. Okay, it's on YouTube. I've got the fight on DVD, but you know the fight's on YouTube, I think. So if you want, go and watch it. And Americans out there who are so proud of what Andre Ward does and what these referees like Tony Weeks and Lawrence Cole and all that do, you know, if you guys, you know, you guys just don't seem to understand that the sport that we watch has rules and regulations that these fighters have to follow. Okay, I really don't want boxing to turn into street fighting. I don't want it to turn into WWE or MMA or any of that shit that has different rules where guys are allowed to wrestle and low blow and headbutt and shit. I don't want to see any of that shit, okay? I want to see guys boxing within the rules, because then we get to see who the better fighter is. I mean, Vasyl Lomachenko versus Orlando Salido. We know who the better fighter is, but the better fighter didn't win, did he? The better fighter didn't win the fight because the fight wasn't regulated properly. Had the fight been regulated properly, Vasyl Lomachenko likely would have stopped Orlando Salido, but because Orlando Salido was allowed to hit him below the belt nearly 50 times, he was able to take a lot of the energy away from Lomachenko with those low blows. So clearly, in America, with the way that boxing is being regulated, we're not seeing who the better fighters are. We know that Sergey Kovalev is the better fighter than Andre Ward because he beat the shit out of Andre Ward. But unfortunately, because of the way that both fights were officiated, the wrong guy, the inferior fighter, came out as the winner, just like with the Salido situation. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up, guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you guys want to see more videos like this. This is not the kind of video that I usually do. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks.